I think even in Europe I've seen in many places, we were just in some royal hotel where, the chairs are all this big. No human being can sit on it. Somebody with some large sense of ego thinks he's big and sits there, and you get bloody buried in that chair, It's not made for a human being. You've seen those chairs? The backrest is 5 feet tall. So, I just lived on honey for many weeks, and there are tribes called honey shepherds in India, they're called Jenu Kurbas. So I went and lived with them, and they just live on honey.
What I love about this initiative is what you've been talking right now about the soil, is that unifies a lot of problems that ecology has right now. I mean, the solution is to plant more trees. Our technology, every time I hear that somebody's making a new machine to get carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, I'm like, don't we have those machines? I mean, they've been around a couple of million years. I mean, we just need to plant more of those. So this initiative kind of like unifies a lot of ecological problems. Can you talk more about it?
You live in California generally?
I used to live in California, yeah.
So I planted myself in California for about 25 days as a part of this thing to move certain people. Every other day somebody comes up and says, Sadhguru, my friend has come up with a new app, it'll solve all the problems. See, this is a generation which is technologically juvenile. It's still new, we're just excited about it. We think technology will solve everything. Technology does wonderful things, no question about it. But we must understand, right now I heard that you have food apps, right? Volt. I'm seeing the Volt bags everywhere on the motorcycles. It's spelled wrong though. It's W-O-L-T, they spelled it like that. So the app may get the food to your home, but somewhere somebody has to cook it. App doesn't cook it, all right? Somewhere somebody has to grow the food. App doesn't grow the food. App makes the delivery maybe little better. It's only an application, enhances the application, but doesn't produce anything, it cannot produce anything. So we need to understand this. It doesn't matter what technologies you come up with, whatever you do, there are only two sources of organic material on the planet, or let me say in the whole universe that we know of. There are only two sources: plant material, animal waste and other things. There is simply nothing else. Hello? Yes or no?
Yes.
Plants and animals. Beyond that, there is no organic content anywhere. Right now the problem is on your farms, there are no animals, there are no plants or trees, because all monoculture, commercial agriculture has come in. There are only machines, but machines don't shit. That's the problem. I was always, somebody told me once in India that there is some sage, some saint somewhere. And is it okay I talk some nonsense to you? So I was in a new town and they said there is some saint here, Sadhguru, you must meet him. People say if you go to him, you will get, very fortunate and you will earn… People earned a lot of money because they went to him, things happened, many people found a lot of success. I said, I'm not looking for anything like that and I don't need to see anybody. Then somebody said, this man doesn't shit. Then I said, okay, I want to see this guy. Because if a man doesn't shit, it means he's beyond his physical nature or he's full of shit. So, in the afternoon I drove, it was about 70 kilometers away, so I just drove there to see this guy. Then I go and see this man, he's like emaciated, very small man, like he must be in his 90s probably. He's like totally like just a skeleton with skin and a small beard, and he's just sitting like this in one… You know, in India, because from the time of monarchs, there is this fascination for people to have… I think even in Europe I've seen in many places, we were just in some royal hotel where, you know, the chairs are all this big. No human being can sit on it. Somebody with some large sense of ego thinks he's big and sits there, and you get bloody buried in that chair, you know. It's not made for a human being. You've seen those chairs? The backrest is 5 feet tall. Probably just to give an image in the next generation, our king was, you know, 12 feet tall man he was, something like that. Anyway, he's sitting on one of those… that kind of chairs. The man is like a sparrow, so small, shrunk like that. And I just saw him from a distance and I just walked around. There was a door, I opened it, and there was a toilet. Then I called one of the ladies who was there and said, "There's a toilet here, they told me the man doesn't shit." He said, "Oh, no, it's not like that, only once in the morning." What do you think, I'm doing it through the day or what? Now, I'm sorry I brought all this Indian shit to you. I heard that you guys are all soaked in honey. Let me tell you my honey story. Can I tell them a honey story?
Yes, please. I'm just like them, I'm listening, I'm enjoying myself. Please, do, go.
So when I was getting lost in the jungles of India, the only food that sustained me largely was honey. I ate other things that I don't want to talk to you about, but largely honey. People always wondered, how do you survive? In any season you go, you manage to stay there for 2-3 weeks and come back, how do you do it? Simple, my trick was, normally we were riding a Czech Republic motorcycle at that time, okay? These days everything is sensitive, you know, you can't say anything as it was.
You can say Thomas here.
So we were riding a Java or a SD, so it has a petrol tube. Normally you need 7-8 inches of petrol tube, but I always put extra, about 15-16 inches of petrol tube, because it gets hard, you can keep cutting it and putting it on. The rubber gets hard. And this is also for my honey, so when I park the motorcycle in the forest and cover it up with all branches and stuff, I pull off the petrol tube and put it in my pocket and go. So I climb up the tree and the hill, I don't know what kind of honeybees you have here, I have no experience of this. There we have what is called as black bees. They are this big, about 1.5 inches long, and honey is fantastic in the Western Ghats because the variety of vegetation there is probably like no other in the world. The number of species of plants there is like nothing else in the world. So, I go there and these huge hives, they built it on that kind of branch where the sloth bears cannot get. A sloth bear weighs approximately 70 to 85 kilograms. So, the bees are so smart, they will build it in a place where the bear cannot get to it. Just on that kind of branch, where the bear will not be able to go because the branch will bend. So I'm just around little over 70 kilograms. So I crawl up that, go close to it, stick my pipe into the hive and drink it up. I drink up about 3/4 of a liter of honey, and for the day I'm settled, you know. So I just lived on honey for many weeks, and there are tribes called honey shepherds in India, they're called Jenu Kurbas. So I went and lived with them, and they just live on honey. Every day, from morning to evening, just… there are bamboo glasses about this tall, approximately about 3/4 of a liter it would take. You just drink that, that's the food. And you are so energized, means you don't need anything else for the whole day.